Hey, welcome back to Fun Online Maths. Today we'll be continuing from our previous video while we're solving this question binomial expansion using combination method. So we'll be at this point. So right now we are here in continuation of our video. So we have plus 10 factorial over 10 minus 8 is 2 factorial times 8 factorial. And we have times. Now, when we reduce the number to be 2 minus 8, x raised to the power 2, then that 2 is subtracting 8. 2 minus 8 is minus 6. So we have times 4x raised to the power minus 6 plus 10 factorial over 10 minus 9 is 1. So that is 1 factorial, 9 factorial times the power here is 1. So 1 minus 9 is minus 8. So that is times 2x raised to the power minus 8. However, there is a minus 1 here that is multiplying, so we put minus here. And then lastly, on that, we have 10 factorial over 10 minus 10 is 0. So that's 0 factorial, 10 factorial times x raised to the power minus 10. So right now, I'll be cancelling out some of the numbers so that we'll reduce what we have. 10 factorial is going to cancel out 10 factorial. Now take note, 10 factorial is the same thing. If you've not heard of factorial before, 10 factorial is the same thing as 10 times 9. Oh, sorry, let's bring it here. 10 factorial is the same thing as 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 factorial. Okay, so for this particular one, if we were to divide by 9 factorial, we'll be casting down all the numbers down from 9 and we'll be left with just 10. So when we cancel 10 factorial by 9 factorial, we just be left with 10. Okay, while for 8 factorial, we'll be having, okay, see what we're going to do is rewrite what we have there. So right now we have cancelled this. We now have 1024 x raised to power 10. This is 0 factorial. 0 factorial is equals to 1. So we are dividing by 1. We are left with 1024 plus, I'm going to write this 10 times 9 factorial times minus 512 x raised to power 8. This is over 9 factorial times 1 factorial. No need for this. Okay, so now we have cancelled out what we have here. 1 factorial is also 1, so it's not going to affect it. So we now have plus, this is a plus 10 factorial, that's 10 times 9 times 8 factorial times 256 x raised to the power of 6 over 8 factorial 2 factorial. This will cancel out what we have there, and 2 factorial is 2. That is 2 times 1, that is 2. So when we cancel out 10, we'll be left with 5 here. That's 10 divided by 2 is 5. So we've removed the denominator. Plus 10 factorial, 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 factorial. What I'm doing is reducing the value here so that we'll be able to get at least one of the denominators to cancel out. So times 7 factorial times minus 128, sorry, x raised to the power of 4, x raised to the power of 4. So this is over 7 factorial 3 factorial. 7 cancels out that. 3 factorial is 3 times 2, which is times 1, which is, or let's put it here, 3 times 2 times 1, which is 6, right? Okay, so when we cancel out, we have 3 times 2 That 3 factorial. 3 will cancel out 9, and then we are left with 3. 2 will cancel out 8, and we are left with 4. So we have plus. At this point, we have 10 factorial, which is 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 factorial over 6 factorial 4 factorial times 64x squared. 6 factorial is going to cancel this out, while 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 factorial. So this 4, you can divide 8 by 4 to have 2. 2 will cancel out itself, and 3 will divide 9 to be left with 3. Okay, so plus. The next one is 10 factorial over 5 factorial. I'm going to come to this side. 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 factorial over 5 factorial. 5 factorial times minus 32. Now, this cancels what we have here. 5 factorial is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 factorial. So 5 can divide 10 to have 2. 2 can divide itself. 4 can break down 8. We have 2 left. 3 can bring down 6. We have 2 left. Okay. So that's plus 10 factorial. I'm here now. 10 times 9 times 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4. Oh, now we have 6 factorial as our highest denominator. So I'm going to stop at 6 factorial. Okay, times 6 factorial over 4 factorial, 6 factorial times 16x raised to the power minus 2. This is going to take this out. 4 factorial is 4 times 3 times 2. Okay, factorial. Now this cancels this, we have 4. 4 cancels itself, and then 3 cancels this, we have 3. For the next one, we have plus 10 factorial. 10 times 9 times 8 times 7, then times minus 8 x raised to the power minus 4 over 3 factorial, 7 factorial. This cancels this, and then 3 factorial is 3 times 2. This cancels this, we have 3 here. 2 cancels out 8, we have 4. Okay, so at this point, this is plus 10 factorial. 10 times 9 times 8 factorial over 2 factorial 8 factorial times 4x raised to the power minus 6. This cancels this. 2 factorial is just 2, so we divide this, we have 5 plus 10 factorial. 10 times 9 factorial over 1 factorial 9 factorial times minus 2x raised to the power minus 8. This cancels this, and we are left with that. Now lastly, we have 10 factorial over 0 factorial 10 factorial. This cancels itself, and then times x raised to the power of minus 10. Right now, let's multiply the numbers that we have. Here we have equals to 1024 x raised to the power of 10 plus, here we have minus 5120 when you multiply, so that's minus 5120. This is 8, sorry, x raised to the power of 8. And for this, we have 5 times 9, which is 45, times 256. Here you are going to have 11,520, and that's positive 11,520 x to the power of 6. Either that's going to be a plus or minus. It's a minus, so minus 10 times 3 times 4, that's 120, times 128. That's 15,360 minus 15,360 x raised to the power of 4. And then we've done this, and this, okay? So let's come here. We have 10 times 3 times 7, that's 210. 210 times 64, that's plus 13,440 x raised to the power of 2. And then the next one is minus. So when you multiply this 9 times 2 times 7 times 2 times minus 32, that's going to give us minus 8064 x raised to the power of, there's no coefficient of x here. There's no value of x here. So now we have 10 times 3 times 7 times 16. That's plus 3360 x raised to the power of minus 2. And then we have plus minus now. Minus 10 times 3 times 4 times 8. That's 960 x raised to the power of minus 4 plus 5 times 9 times 4, that is plus 180 x raised to the power of minus 6. Then minus 10 times 2, that's 20 x raised to the power minus 8. And then now please take note, 0 factorial is 1. So we don't have an indeterminate form here. I divide in by 1. Now we just have x raised to the power of, that's plus x raised to the power of minus 10. So we're going to call it like terms. I think there are like terms, or I don't think there are like terms. So what we are going to do now is to come back here and multiply what we have with 1 minus x squared. So we have 1 minus x squared times everything here. So I'm going to rewrite this. So now I'm going to expand by multiplying each term here by each of the terms here. First of all, when you multiply by 1, you have basically the same thing. So the first multiplication will just give me the same thing. Then I'll multiply with x squared. So this is equal. Okay, that's not all. We are still going to multiply each term by minus s squared. So when you multiply this by minus s squared, we are going to be adding 2 to the power of x for each of them. So this will be minus 1024 x raised to the power 10 plus 2 is 12 minus, so that's minus s squared times this. The minus is going to change each of the sign. Please take note, so that in case I just move directly, the negative is going to change each of these signs. S squared times s raised to the power 8 is 2 plus 8, which is 10 s raised to the power 10. So that's minus, no, that is plus 5120 s raised to the power 10 minus 11520 s raised to the power 8 plus 15,360 x raised to the power 6 minus 13,440 x raised to the power 4 minus, that's plus 8064 x squared minus, now I'm here, please take notes, 3360. Now when you have 2 plus minus 2, that's 2 minus 2, which is 0. So x raised to the power 0, which is basically 1. But let's move on. Plus 960 x raised to the power 2 minus 4 is minus 2. And then we have plus 180 x raised to the power 2 minus 6 minus 4. Minus, we are wrong at this sign. Minus, then we have plus 20 x raised to the power 2 minus 8 is minus 6. And then we have minus x raised to the power minus 8. Okay, so now we can collect like terms. The like terms are the terms with the same variable. So here you see s to the power of 10, bring them together. Okay, so now the highest power of x we have is this one, minus 1024 x raised to the power 12. And then we have this as plus 1024 s raised to power 10 with this 5120 s raised to power 10. Then we have this also minus 5120 s raised to power 8 minus 11520 s raised to power 8 plus 11520 s raised to power 6 plus we have 15360 s raised to power 6. Then we have plus 15360 s raised to power 4 minus, is it plus? No, at this point, please, this is minus 13440 s raised to power 4 plus 13440 s raised to power 2 plus 8064 x squared minus 3360 s raised to power minus 2. That's I'm sorry. We had x raised to power 0 here, right? So we have to write that first before we move to this place. So we have minus 3360. X raised to power 0 is 1, so I'm not going to be writing that. We have the next one, which is this plus 3360 x raised to power minus 2 plus 960 x raised to power minus 2 minus 960 x raised to power, it should be minus 4. Sorry, it should be minus 4 x raised to power minus 4. So we have plus 180 x raised to power minus 6 plus 20 x raised to power minus 6, and then lastly we have, is that the last one? That's not all. We also have minus 20 x raised to power minus 8 and then minus x raised to power minus 8 plus x raised to power 10 minus 10, sorry. So that's all. Now let's add and let's subtract. So we have this equals to minus 1024 x raised to the power of 12 plus, when we add these two numbers together, that's going to be 6144 x raised to power 10. When we subtract, this is basically adding them together then writing minus. So minus 5120 minus what we have here is minus 16640 x raised to the power of 8. Okay, so plus, we're adding these two numbers now. That is 26880 x raised to the power of 6. The same thing, add these two numbers, just write minus at the back. We'll be having 28800. Let's look at it. Yes, 28800 x raised to power 4. Then, okay, so when we add these two numbers together, we are going to have plus 21504 x raised to power 2. These two together are going to give, so we have minus 3360 plus, add these two together, we have 4320 x raised to power minus 2. I hope you can see that. And then we have this minus 960. We skipped this. Before this, sorry, we are supposed to have minus 180 x raised to power minus 4. Okay, so now when we have minus 960 minus 180, it's minus 1140 x raised to power minus 4. And then now we have 180 plus 20, that's plus 200 x raised to power minus 6 minus 21 x raised to power minus 8 plus x raised to power minus 10. Okay, so now if you look at the question on the board, the problem says we should find the coefficient of x to the power of 8. Now, the coefficient of a number is the coefficient of an algebraic term is the number that is attached to the variable. The coefficient of x raised to power 8, this is x raised to power 8. The coefficient here is minus 16,640. This is our answer. Long, right? Please do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more videos. Bye bye.